wanted to welcome everyone again. So thank you so much. And I just wanted to do a little bit of a brief introduction before I hand over to Kevin. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I think there's a couple of familiar faces in the room, in the virtual room. But for those who don't know me, my name's Claire Moronic. I work as the Change and Test Manager at Aston University in digital services. I've always been passionate about supporting inclusion, gender diversity, and supporting people in their careers in sort of everything that I've done to date, really, just where I can help and sort of join communities in doing that. My roots really were sort of within service management and IT support when I started out in my career, and I moved into more of a process owner type ITIL role, and I did that through sort of the change process and managing that in previous roles and what I'm doing at Aston at the moment. Part of what I'm doing outside of that role and as a voluntary basis, I am part of the BCSWomen committee. I'm quite a new member and I joined in October 2025. Everyone on the committee has been so supportive and absolutely brilliant, and just welcomed me with open arms. So I'm so proud to be part of that committee. I'll go through sort of the BCS and the committee at them in a few seconds, but I just think it's really important to highlight, and it's something that I've learned over the past sort of 2 years around networking, connecting with other people in the tech industry. I've been doing that and I've met some really fantastic people who have helped me, been really supportive, and Kevin's network, the Read Women in Tech, has so much resource, which he will go over in a second, but also mentoring as well. I think earlier on in my career, I wasn't able to sort of network, and I didn't really see the importance of it, but I've really learned about that now. And this is why part of the reason why one of the themes I wanted to do a lunch and learn around networking and learning all about this fantastic network. On screen, I have put my LinkedIn details, so you can use the QR code, but I will put all of that into the chat as well. So I'm just moving on to a little bit of housekeeping. If possible, if we could keep the microphones muted whilst the speakers are presenting, if that's okay. Any questions, if they could go into the chat, I'll be monitoring that once I've finished sort of presenting this whilst Kevin's talking. And I believe Helen, she's just monitoring it for me just while I'm speaking at the moment.
Claire,
Yeah,
sorry to dive in. Your
yeah.
slides aren't moving.
Aren't they? I do apologise. Oh, okay.
The view that we've got, Claire, is of your PowerPoint, not of presenter mode. So you might just jump
Right.
into PowerPoint and just click in there.
Yeah, here we go. Can you see that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, I will put my my sort of intro slide up just for everyone's benefit, and there's the QR code if you need it, but I will put that into the chat. And then sorry, just going back to the housekeeping slide as well. So yeah, let's just be respectful and inclusive in this webinar as well. Any sort of discussions we can have in the chat, and we'll try and do a little bit of a Q&A at the end if we do have time. Hopefully no one else has any technical issues. I do apologise about the PowerPoint presentation. I am using a browser-based version of Zoom as well, so that might be part of the reason why some of the views aren't working very well.
Claire,
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to jump in, but I've not used
Yeah.
Zoom in such a long time, so I don't know how to put my hand up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's okay.
many.
I can't see the screen whilst I'm presenting. So
Oh, right. Oh, don't worry
yeah.
about it then. So it's me in tech. So yeah, I was just going to say, it's tricky because I think if you're off the one screen, presenter mode might not work. But if you can go to slideshow and then choose like slideshow.
Let me give that a try.
Because otherwise, if someone's on a smaller screen, they won't necessarily see everything as clearly.
Can you see that now?
No, I'm still looking at.
I think that you started the slideshow before, but you've already selected which screen to share, and
Right.
you're
Okay.
sharing PowerPoint instead of the slideshow. So
Guys, thank you so much. Let's share again. Here we go. Can everyone see the transitions now?
It's still in PowerPoint. Still the screen that we've got.
Try F5. Just press F5. See what happens. Well, function F5 because it's the thing. Anything?
Does that help?
Nah. Do you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll be all right.
I'm sorry. So you can't see any of the movement of the screen at all?
We can. So we can see you clicking through your slides now.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll keep to that. I'm really sorry, guys. I'll have a look into that for the next one.
We're just gonna miss the transitions and stuff, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
No worries, thank you. So I just wanted to do a little bit of an introduction around the BCS and who they are. I know we've got some committee members and members of the BCS who have joined. So the British Computer Society, they're a professional body that ensure that the IT industry standards remain high. That's whether it's through a legal, ethical, or any of the social issues, and making sure that the IT industry follows those high standards. Some of you may have studied some professional qualifications, and you may notice that the British Computer Society accredits some of the qualifications as well. But they do lots of sort of other work in the industry. They provide community as well. And as we sort of talk about community, one of those is the British Computer Society Women Committee that I briefly mentioned before. This is a specialist community that's been set up under the BCS, and it was founded by Dr. Sue Black in 2001. She was really inspired with some events that she had attended and wanted to sort of bring this community. BCSWomen support and advocate women in industry, and there's just some notable work that I'd just like to highlight. There was the BCS Gender Diversity in the Tech Sector report that was published quite recently. That was at the end of 2025, and also you may have all seen the Lovelace report as well. I'll put links to those in the chat as well, just for all of you to, if you haven't read those, I'll make them available for you. And the BCSWomen also are a campaigning organisation, so we engage with a lot of people in industry, in government sometimes, just depending on what we're working on. But I've put another QR code there just for you to sort of read a little bit more about the BCSWomen. And just sort of moving to the next slide, I've got another QR code about whether if you are thinking of joining the British Computer Society, there are a number of sort of memberships where you can join. Now, a bit more about the Lunch and Learn series. So I've put this together sort of in the lead up to the Women in Tech Meetup 2026. I didn't really go over it before. It was part of my notes, so I do apologise. I think because I was sorting the presentation out. We did one in 2025, the Women in Tech Meetup, and Kevin and Reed were there, and they were a great support for the event. It had a really great response, and we were able to network and get lots of great speakers. So what my plan is to do a lunch and learn every sort of 2 to 4 weeks. It just depends on availability of speakers. Every event will have like a different tech theme, so I'm just sort of in the process of organising that, and I will sort of provide more details as planning sort of progresses around the Women in Tech meetup. But this session is for all of us to a friendly session for us to learn, and I feel like I've spoken quite a bit now, so what I'll do is I'll pass over to Kevin. So I'm passing the torch over to you. Thank you so much, everyone, and I really hope you enjoy. And I do apologise about the slides. We'll try and do a bit of a Q&A at the end. Thank you.
Cool. Just to double check, you can see my slides, can't you?
Yeah, I can see. Do you want to do a transition as well? I'm sure like yours will probably be working.
I mean, like, you can see my slides
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
screen, yeah? Cool.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, they're transitioning as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Excellent. No, thank you, Claire. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for the invitation to come today to talk about the Reed Women in Tech community. I'm going to start very briefly by talking about Reed, just to set the scene and explain why this initiative exists, and then we'll move into what we do and how we do it. So a little bit about Reed. So most people will be familiar with the Reed brand. We are a 66-year-old recruitment company, but the scope of our services is a lot wider than just typical permanent or contract recruitment. So on the screen, you can see some of the selected services that we deliver, which are directly linked into how we help companies hire more diverse talent. And that is a common challenge, which is really what spawns the need and then the initiative to set up the Women in Tech community that we have here. So, within our scope of solutions, we do everything from helping companies to create the right environments, to be more inclusive, to have the right policies in place to enable them to provide a better working environment for diverse talent. We help them to grow, develop, and attract early careers and future skills through our training business coordination. And then if they come to us and say, we've got a gap, we need an experienced person, whether that's a technical person or a leadership person, I have a whole suite of colleagues who are responsible for going into the market, sourcing excellent diverse talent, whether that's female diversity or other forms of diversity, and helping those organizations to hire those people. And that's the world that I come from. So I was recruiting in that space for 11 years before I set this program up. And especially in the latter years of that, on a day-to-day basis, I would be faced with the challenges that employers have hiring diverse talent, but also the challenges that diverse talent has in being in the market, and the hurdles they had to face to compete with the typical candidate in the tech market. So, what are we? What do we do? Why do we do it? I explained a little bit about why we do it there. So effectively, our ethos is that we will put time and effort into anything that we think will add value, improve the lives of women that currently do or want to work in tech or transformation. We are not trying to monopolize helping those people or take complete ownership of helping those people. So we are very much about working in partnership with other organizations. So hence, partnering here with BCS and BCSWomen to introduce you to our network. The network that we have is completely free to access, and therefore it's designed to complement and sit alongside any existing networks that you're part of. So I don't want you to approach this thinking, I'm already part of this thing over here, I therefore don't have time for this thing over here. It's very much, we would encourage everybody to sign up and have access to what we offer, so that if at any point there is an element of what we do that would be helpful to you, you can get access to it. There is no assumption that you will be spending hours and hours and days of a month doing things with this network. We do that so that you have a menu of options to select from. The majority of the work that we do, whilst we do work with external groups and try and drive societal change, the majority of the work we do is with the individual. And typically it falls under one of these three pillars. So we try and give our members access to direct support through mentoring. We try and give our members access to the opportunity to develop new skills. And we try and give our members access to the opportunity to expand their networks. And Claire mentioned at the start of this call the importance and the benefits she's had from networking. And a snapshot on this in the next slide of where we are today. We've grown the network to just short of 4,000 members. That's happened over a period of, I'm trying to think how many years it's been now. We're going into 6 years in 2026. And those members, this is probably less relevant to you guys on the call today, but those members are global. So the majority are UK based, but we're completely open to any overseas members. So we've got people in 56 different countries that are part of this. We typically have people that work in the kind of IT and transformation spaces. If you're in government, the kind of DDAT spaces, effectively infrastructure, software, data, transformation, product, all those kind of things. But we aren't closed to people that work in those spaces. So one of the things we're very aware of is that to grow the number of women that work in tech, you have to to give people outside of tech access to that. So we are very open to anybody that wants to be part of this network or identifies as a woman in tech being part of this network. So some examples of people are business partners, HR people, marketing people, sales people that are in tech companies, or people making a career transition. So we've had loads of examples of teachers and nurses and people in those kind of jobs expand their networks, learning skills, and therefore getting into their first tech job as a result of some of the stuff that we've been able to help them with. If anybody has any questions, please do interrupt me, because very much like Claire said, you recognize that you are speaking a lot when you're doing this kind of thing. So I'll happily take a break for any questions. Assuming there isn't, I'll keep moving, but somebody please stop me at any point. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is our mentoring solution. I try and avoid, despite what this slide says, calling it a mentoring program, because we are quite different to most of the mentoring programs that are out there. And mentoring programs typically, as the program word suggests, are quite defined in terms of their structure. So most mentoring programs will have a set period where you can apply for it, which will trigger a defined start date. You'll be paired with somebody based on application form, and that will last for a specified amount of time. That is a great model and does work. We wanted to provide an alternative solution because we recognize that there are some gaps in that model. So example gaps would be if the mentoring program that you applied for starts on January the 1st, but you found out about it on January the 15th, that you're a bit lost then. Like you probably sat waiting for the next intake, and then the challenge that you've got might be causing you real issues before the program starts, or it might be even solved personally before the program even starts. So the way that our program works is more like a marketplace for mentoring. So we have a pool of 750 people who mentor for us. Our mentors are both male and female. They are typically tech leadership professionals, but we are open to people at any stage of their career being mentors. The reason for that is that people going into this program can get help with a variety of different types of problem. So if we look at the example of somebody that's trying to break into the tech industry, a CIO might have some great contacts, but they won't necessarily have that lived experience of recently doing that. So they might not be the perfect mentor. Whereas somebody with 1 or 2 years experience that recently transitioned after completing a boot camp might be the perfect mentor. So for that reason, we allow anybody that wants to, assuming they pass our safeguarding tests, to be a mentor. And as I said, we've got a pool of 750 mentors then that any of our mentees can connect with via the platform and select to become their mentor. The way that it works for the mentees is that they drive that process. So any time of day, any day of the year where they feel like they could do with a little bit of support, they go into our platform, they click after completing their profile, find me a mentor, and that then shows them every single mentor that we've got currently available. So out of those 750, at any point in time, they will only see the ones that are actively looking for a new mentee. And right now, that number is around about 250, 260 people. So there's absolutely loads of choice. Once they select that mentor, that invites them to have almost like a first date. So it's a chemistry session over Teams or Zoom or whatever platform you prefer to use, where you literally have a half-hour, 1-hour meeting, get to know each other, decide whether there is compatibility there in terms of personality, whether the skills are what you thought they were in terms of being able to support each other, and whether you have the right type and amount of availability to help each other. And assuming all those things align, you are then completely welcome to have that mentoring relationship for as long or as short as you need it. The tools that we give you to support that is a mentoring contract. We have a whole online learning hub to brush up on mentoring and being a mentee skills. And we provide wraparound support. So if anybody has any issues connecting with their mentor or mentee at any point, anybody gets asked any questions they don't know how to answer, those kind of things, we are here to offer that support. Claire, have you got anything from your experience to add to that in terms of what you've seen? Or
I think so at Aston, I am sort of getting more involved in how we can try and encourage more women in tech, whether that's through mentoring, providing career paths, and also through our recruitment as well. So because we are quite a specialist department within the university, I think really from from my perspective, I've learned an awful lot from sort of Read and the community as well. One New Year's resolution I probably do need to make, Kevin, is I do need to start attending more of the Friday, you know, the tea break sessions.
Hey, we'll get into that in a second, Claire.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of Kevin, but I you know, the ones that I've joined, the people that I've met and networked with have been so supportive, and I think for me it's just really, I think, you know, the Read Women in Tech network for me was one of the first networks I'd engaged with, and could just sort of see the importance of having all these resources and the community there as well. So yeah, it's just really great to be a member and to have that support. So I think from my perspective, sorry, I'm digressing a little bit.
Sorry, yeah, not a problem. And without knowing the exact roles of the people that are on this call or who's going to watch it back, I think for each of the slides I talk through, this one and from now on, it's important to know there are multiple different roles people can play. So I'll try and touch on all of them. So just please try and find the relevance in each part to you. So from this slide, obviously, you can become a mentor. And like I said, there's no kind of limitations on who can be a mentor. If you are, you know, if you put yourself out there to be a mentor and somebody picks you, then by definition you are the right person to be a mentor. If you put yourself out there and nobody picks you, then nothing's lost. You know, you've not suffered from spending 2 minutes putting a profile out there. So I'd encourage people to do that. As I said, mentors can be male or female. If you are in at any level in your career, so we've had female CIOs be the mentee. So this isn't an early careers thing. It is supporting people at all levels of their career. So we'd encourage everybody to have a look at the options and pick a mentor for them. And if you are an employer or you're running a kind of network like this, and you want to give more people access to mentoring, then feel free to introduce this network and get involved. And what I will say, on behalf of the men and, you know, being one of them myself, you learn a hell of a lot by being involved in a network like this. So it's a really great way to be a visible ally, but also develop those skills and be a better ally. So if any of you have got men in your networks that you think would be great, you know, be great allies to women, but don't have a platform to do that, get them involved in this, because that will give them a place to do it and give them loads of skills as well to take forward. The next part of what we do then is giving you people access to opportunities to learn new skills. This is both technical and non-technical. We do this similar to what Claire's trying to get off the ground through Lunch and Learns. We're a little bit ahead of Claire because we've been doing this for longer. So we are at the point now where we will have multiple of these every single week. Every single week, there will be at least one session which is non-technical. They are the kind of things that bring us all together. You know, we're not separated by the fact that I'm interested in architecture, you're interested in project management. It's very much, these are all the topics which touch all of us because they are about the human side of working in tech. So in those sessions, we will cover everything from health and well-being, power skills like confidence, communication skills, leadership skills, all your kind of D&I topics around things like neurodiversity, how to create your own employee resource groups, how to create your own mentoring programs, all that kind of stuff is covered on a weekly basis. Alongside that, and I'm going to skip to the back of my deck to talk about this, but alongside that, we also have the technical sessions which are run through our communities of practice. So when you join this network, whilst you are becoming a network of 4,000 people that broadly work or are interested in working in tech, you might at some point say, hey, I'd love to network with a more specific audience. So as I said, if you are interested in IT architecture, you could join our architecture community of practice. And through our online space, you can opt into any of these groups. And when you join these groups, you'll find that in each of these groups, there are news feeds, so where you can post things like you can on LinkedIn. There are chat boxes, so you can just generically chat with each other. You can private message other members in those spaces if you want to, like I say, connect with somebody and reach out and pick their brains. You can do that. We also have spaces in these sections for you to find out about events that are relevant to that network, and to post your own events. So this is, you know, something for the BCS guys, I guess, is you guys run a lot of great content. We have a space here where you can promote that even further beyond the spaces that you have. So if you've got any sessions taking place online or in person, we're happy for you to promote them on this platform. And also in each of those spaces, There are resources hubs, so that if anybody has any really great resources, so resources by it broadly encapsulates recommended books, recommended podcasts, news articles, toolkits, recommended courses, anything like that that you think would help somebody else in their career, you are welcome to send that to us and we'll upload it and catalog that and host it all in this space. This is the first step of how we allow our members to network. So off their own back, they can go online whenever they want to and find and engage with other people. Some of the stuff that Claire mentioned then, where we kind of facilitate more networking. Every single Friday, we have a Teams community coffee, we call it, and it is just a agendaless meeting that's in the diary. Anyone can drop into that. We have a kind of a common spine of people that show up every week because they like to be visible and help people. And then we have people that drop in and out on a regular basis. So reasons people might come to this call is generally just to meet new people and expand their network, which is always worthwhile. People might come because they've had a particular torrid week and they want someone to share that with and get some advice from. Or the flip side of that, people might have had a really great week and want to celebrate an achievement. So if they've got a new job or passed a certification, coming and sharing that is a really great thing, because that just reinforces your personal brand and allows people to know who you are. And that will ensure that, you know, you are building a network of sponsors and champions and people that will signpost opportunities to you in the future. And then the final piece, which again, Claire's already touched on, she's done a great job of setting me up for this, is the in-person events that we run. So again, looking at the different roles people might play, we, for the members of the network, basically we provide in-person networking sessions all around the country as often as we can. So in the upcoming weeks, we have a session in Leicester in the start of February. We've got 2 sessions in Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow at the end of February. We've got a session in Birmingham in March, a session in London in March, probably some that I've forgotten about. We're talking to Claire about another session around about May time in Birmingham at Aston Uni. So you, as a member of the network, will be invited to a lot of sessions. Any of them that are local to you and the time works, you are free to attend. They are ticketed but free. So they're only ticketed to make sure that we don't oversubscribe and have more people than we've got space for. And as a free attendee, there will always be free food and drink and an opportunity to learn from something that's happening there. And that's something that's typically a group of speakers, some panel discussion or a workshop. The other role that you can play in all of this then is contributing to those sessions. So if you are somebody that has an interest in public speaking and sharing your experience or running workshops, you are the people that power these events. So please do let us know if you've got any appetite for doing that kind of stuff, because we're constantly looking for people to come and lead these sessions and speak at these events. Last year we had, we're going to do more than that this year, but last year we had 16 in-person events and we ran 91 webinars. So you can see that needs a lot of speakers to make that happen. So please do come to us. And then the final role you can play with this is, as Claire has done, if you're in an organization that does have some kind of ability to host events, and what I mean by that is just some space, then please approach us and have a chat about how we can collaborate on hosting an event. Basically, if you give us a venue to run something in, we will do everything else. So we will source speakers, we will bring the audience to that event, so that you and your organization can network with the type of people that you want to network with. So that brings to a close everything that I've got to tell you. Appreciate there's a lot there. The only thing I will reiterate is we do not expect anybody to sign up and then suddenly get a mentor, be a mentor, attend the 2 webinars this week, come to an event next week, go to all the networking calls. It's literally a menu of options. And if at any point in time, any of those options looks like it's going to be valuable to you, you can quite easily then opt in to do that one thing. The more we see of you, the better, but there's no obligation for you to be super, super active, and don't think, gosh, I don't have time for any of this stuff. Trust me, you will make time and it'll be well worthwhile. Claire, any questions in the chat, or anybody want to come off mute? And
I think we've had a lot. It's more of a positive feedback about the mentoring program. So Beth put in there that it's been so helpful for me as a mentee, and I've also enjoyed the mentoring I have been privileged to do as well. So yeah, it's just more like positive feedback around mentoring. I think it is really great to have a mentor, sometimes it's good to have that person to soundboard things. If you're a bit unsure about something, if you're a bit in the crossroads in your career as well, and you're not sure what to do and how to sort of map out what you'd like to do next, I think it's really good to have a mentor on how to do that as well. How you mentioned as well, Kevin, around allyship as well. I think that's really, really important, and it's just so great that within the Reed network as well, there is a mixture of men and women, and there's allyship there. I think that's so great to have that in the network as well, because we all are part of this sector, and we're all wanting to have like a common voice to improve it and work together and do that as well.
Yeah. So while you're talking now, I put the slides back up because Beth reminded me that we've got some testimonials and things here. People may have read them while you were chatting. If not, I will give you the slide deck to share. But this is 5 people's experience, and we've had 1,750 women that have had a mentor through this. So I'm sure you can imagine the breadth of success stories we've got is amazing. And then the final slide, which I will leave on screen if we have any other questions, is just literally the QR code. So this will take you to our website where you can register your interest. My word of warning is that is not the final step. So don't register your interest there and think that's it done. What that does is that tells our systems what you're interested in. So if you're interested in just being a mentee or a mentor, it will send you down a certain path to access the mentoring platform. If you're just interested in joining like the webinars and networking calls and things, but you don't want to be part of the mentoring program, it will send you down a separate path to get into that system. So whichever thing you click, there will be some follow-up comms. So look out for a second email or a first email, and follow the link in that, and that'll help you sign up to the specific elements that you want to be part of. But yeah, first step, scan that QR code, fill your details in on the short capture form on the website, and then myself or self-serve, you'll be able to follow through to the next steps.
Brilliant. I also put a link in the chat as well, Kevin, just in case. So I kind of set you up there to see if people wanted to have a look whilst you were speaking at membership as well. We've got around 15 minutes now. Does anyone have any sort of questions? Just as I said that, we do have a question that's come in the chat, and it is: can students at university register as a mentee, or just is it just for professionals?
Yeah, absolutely. The very short answer is yes. I can think of a scenario where the answer might be no, but that's purely because of safeguarding. So our mentees, because our mentors aren't DBS checked, our mentees have to be 18 years old or above. So unless somebody's gone to university early, the answer is a definite yes, they can be members of this network and get a mentor. And like I said, I haven't said this, but coming into 2026, my actual biggest challenge for this network is socializing it and getting more people to take advantage of the opportunity to be mentored. So we do have, as I said, 260 spare mentors right now. So there is no shortage of people there to help. So I would say anybody that's thinking about it, take a look and see if there's a mentor for you. Anyone that runs a team or runs a network and has people in that team or network that they think would benefit from this, please encourage them to sign up. We're not going to tell you that there's a limit or anything like that. It's literally anyone that wants help can go and look at that resource and see if there's a mentor there for them.
Brilliant. We've just had another question. It says, if you sign up for one area, are you able to engage in other areas in the future based on the registered interest process? So I think, when you said when you sign up, say you pick, I don't know, the cloud computing, can you change the preferences?
Yeah, so the register your interest preferences are literally, I want to access the mentoring program or not, and I want to access the community or not. So it's not as specific as like which communities of practice you join after that. So first of all, that's very simple. But then once you do select to join the mentoring program, when you are onboarded, in the onboarding email, it'll be thank you for joining the network. Here's how you access the other elements if you ever want to. So they'll have reminders of all that stuff. anybody that's part of either of those platforms, and most people are part of both those platforms, does get added to a mailing list, so they'll get a monthly newsletter from me. And in that newsletter, there'll be a calendar of all our sessions. So even if you aren't formally signed up to access our webinars and things, you'll get a monthly newsletter, and it might be that there's one there that you go, that's really interesting, and you can then opt into that specific session.
There is a community sort of area, like, you know, when you join as well, you can log on, and there's like a little bit of I'm going to call it a message board. I'm sorry if that's the wrong way to say it. But if you do sign up and you're having trouble with it, you can always post a message in there or contact one of the other members, and they'll be able to help you change your preferences as well. Okay. Are there any other questions? Oh, yeah, we've got another one. Can students who are doing non-tech degrees but interested in tech also join the platform? So I guess really that kind of goes under the maybe career. I know it's a subject, but career sort of subject sort of change and interest as well. So yeah, I think
the answer is just yes, Claire.
Yeah.
We do not restrict or limit anybody unless there's a reason, like say for safeguarding reasons, that they shouldn't be part of this network from accessing it. So anybody that has an interest in the content that we deliver is more than welcome to sign up and consume that content.
And I believe Samira is asking those questions. If you need any sort of help or anything, do reach out to me, Samira, if you need anything. But yeah, the answer is yes, you are very welcome in this network. I've also put some resources as well for BCS as well.
I know that Aston's really great, Claire, for having female students, but actually one of the reasons the need for this network is that most women that I know that work in tech very successfully got into tech beyond university. Like it was not a decision they made at school or at sixth form. So something we're really conscious of is connecting more with people that are doing non-tech degrees, because the chances are those degrees are teaching you skills, or you inherently have the skills that are needed to be successful in tech. You're just not currently applying them in a tech discipline. So a lot of my personal friends that I know that work in data did courses like geography and sociology and criminology because there was loads of statistical analysis in those courses, and now they've gone on to be like really well-paid data analysts and data scientists. So yeah, not only do we welcome those people, we absolutely encourage those people to get exposure to more tech skills, because most jobs in the future will be, let's say, tech focused.
Yeah, I think with everything that's advancing with AI as well, now technology is the sort of the forefront. Sorry, we've just had another question around distributing the slides. I'll make sure that that's done. As long as everyone registered with an email address, I should be able to send that out, but I need to speak to one of the community leads in the BCS. But also I can see Laura has got her hand up. So if you want to, if you've got a question. Hi, Laura.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to ask something maybe a bit selfish just here. I'm super interested about what you just presented. I will definitely join this network. I didn't know about it, so very worthy to join today. I will also share, of course, with my students. I'm teaching in the MSc in cybersecurity, and we have maybe 10% of women within the cohort. So I'm sure that would be very supportive for them. But also, I'm going to ask something to you, Kevin and Claire. I just won some award fundings to have workshop discussion with practitioner and anyone who would be interested in promoting women in STEM, for creating some consortium for an Horizon project at the European scale. And I have partners in Spain and France. And I will have this workshop next month. And I would love you to join, because everything you just said would be exactly the kind of things we'd like to hear. What are the main challenges? What you know about the path of women in STEM? And if you could report any of these testimonies, that would be absolutely brilliant. So that's just for me to invite you back on maybe with this workshop or an informal chat on the topic, if that would be okay for you.
That would be amazing, and we're happy to help where we can, Laura. Thank you. And I'm glad you know about the network now as well. Amazing. Okay, I can't see any more questions in the chat, but does anyone else have any questions? Yeah, I can't see. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through just to make sure no one's got their hand up. But if you do have any questions, we've got a few more minutes. We've got a bit of time.
That looks like we're clear, Claire. I will send you the slides, and
brilliant.
You've got my details, so feel free to give people my contact details. So if anybody wants to reach out privately, I know that sometimes, like, Laura's obviously quite confident, but some people don't want to put themselves on camera, off mute, and ask a question in front of an
of
audience.
course.
So anybody
No
wants to reach
worries.
out afterwards, more than welcome to fill those later on.
Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed the session this afternoon. I am going to start planning sort of other themes as we lead up to the 2026 Women in Tech meetup in Birmingham. So I'll have more details, hopefully more updates as these lunch and learns progress as well. But as Kevin said, if you've got any questions and you want to take them offline, feel free to contact me. I've put in my LinkedIn details in the chat as well. But just thank you so much, everyone. And we'll give you a couple of minutes back in your calendars for your lunch break. And thank you so much. Be good to see you all again at the next one. Thank you.